If you feel lost, tired, or unsure, remember this: character is built in the dark before it shines in the light. Success doesn't start with money, talent, or opportunity. It begins with the invisible foundation called character. Before life gives you big responsibilities, it quietly checks your daily habits, how you speak to people, how you keep your promises when no one is watching, how you handle pressure when things don't go your way. Character is built in silence but revealed in storms. If you want success to stay with you, not just visit for a moment, you must first become the kind of person success feels proud to stand beside. Every breakthrough begins with an internal decision: I will be better than I was yesterday. Character grows when you choose discipline over comfort, integrity over shortcuts, growth over excuses. The world may not clap for you when you wake up early, stay consistent, or say no to distractions. But success claps quietly in the background, preparing a seat for you. You are not just chasing goals, you are shaping the kind of mind, attitude, and heart capable of carrying those goals without collapsing. Character is the strongest currency in life. Opportunities come and go, but people trust, follow, and reward those who rise above average thinking. When you choose honesty, resilience, gratitude, responsibility, and humility, you unlock doors that money alone can't open. Success is attracted to character the way fire is attracted to oxygen. Build yourself first, and life will have no choice but to build your future next. Success doesn't begin the moment you achieve something great. It begins long before that, quietly, privately, invisibly, inside you. Before life ever hands you a trophy, it tests you in small moments to see if you're ready for the weight of real achievement. Character is the silent architect of every dream you chase, the unseen engineer working behind every victory you celebrate. And what's fascinating is that character is not built when you stand on the stage. It's built when no one even knows your name. You don't develop character in applause. You develop it in the everyday choices most people overlook. Imagine waking up every morning with a simple decision to show up as your best self, even when the world gives you zero recognition for it. That's where character begins. It's in the moment you decide to keep a promise to yourself, even if that promise feels small. If you say you will wake up at 6 a.m. to improve your life and you follow through, you are not just keeping a schedule. You are building a foundation for discipline, and discipline is one of the cornerstones of great character. Nobody may applaud you for it, but success takes note of it. Life takes note of it. The universe quietly whispers, here is someone worth trusting with bigger responsibilities. Character is built when you learn to control your emotions instead of letting your emotions control you. When someone disrespects you and you choose calm over chaos, strength over reaction, clarity over anger, you are building character. When pressure surrounds you and you choose patience instead of panic, you are building character. When life gets tough and you refuse to quit because quitting would mean betraying your future self, you are building character. And those tiny victories, those small private battles, shape you into someone success can rely on. One of the most powerful tests of character appears when things go wrong. Anyone can smile when life is sweet, but real character emerges when nothing is working in your favor. When you feel frustrated, exhausted, or discouraged, this is when your inner strength is being forged. A mind trained to stay steady under pressure becomes unstoppable in the world. You can't control everything, but you can control your reaction, and that ability to stay grounded when everything feels uncertain becomes the superpower that separates achievers from dreamers. Character also grows through honesty, not just honesty with others, but honesty with yourself. It's easy to blame circumstances, luck, or other people for where you are in life. But character grows when you confront your own habits, your own choices, your own limitations, and say, I can do better. That moment of self-responsibility is powerful. It's uncomfortable, but it's transformational. Success doesn't demand perfection. It demands honesty. If you lie to yourself, you disturb the blueprint of who you could become. But if you remain brutally honest, you give yourself the power to improve. And then comes consistency. A major part of character is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Motivation will get you started, but character will keep you going. If you only work when you're inspired, your results will always be unstable. But when you work even on the days your mind whispers not today, you train yourself to rise above excuses. You shape a version of yourself that doesn't depend on moods, circumstances, or validation. And that version of you becomes unstoppable. Character is also built through humility, not the weak kind of humility where you lower yourself, but the powerful kind that reminds you there is always more to learn. When you remain teachable, open, curious, and willing to grow, you expand your capacity for success. Humility protects you from arrogance, and arrogance is one of the quickest ways to lose everything you gain. The strongest people in the world are those who remain students of life, always improving, always refining, always updating their character. Another layer of character is how you treat people, not just the people who can help you, but the people who can't give you anything in return. Your kindness, your empathy, the way you communicate, the respect you show to others, even in small interactions, these are reflections of your inner world. You can fool people with your charm, but you can't fool them with your character. And life has a funny way of rewarding those who elevate others instead of stepping on them. As you keep sharpening your character, something beautiful happens. Success begins to chase you. Opportunities begin to trust you. People begin to believe in you. Why? Because strong character is magnetic. It attracts respect, growth, leadership, influence, and prosperity. Without character, success is temporary, shaky, unstable. But when character leads the way, success becomes long, lasting, meaningful, and deeply rewarding. This is why Jim Rohn always said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job, because the job will only grow as much as the person doing it. The business will only expand as far as the mind running it. The dreams will only manifest at the level of the character supporting them. Build yourself first. Success comes after. Always, every major transformation in life begins with a moment most people ignore. The moment you decide that who you were yesterday is no longer enough for the person you want to become tomorrow. Character does not grow by accident. It grows through deliberate choices, small decisions that slowly shape the mind, the attitude, and the discipline required for a meaningful life. When you choose improvement over excuses, effort over laziness, courage over fear, and purpose over distraction, you activate a force inside you that silently moves you toward success long before the world ever recognizes your progress. Every day, life gives you two paths, the path of comfort and the path of growth. Comfort is warm, easy, and tempting, but it never builds character. Growth is uncomfortable, often lonely, and requires discipline, but it transforms you into someone capable of handling success with strength and maturity. Character is built when you choose growth even when comfort is begging you to stay the same. When you decide to wake up earlier than your excuses. When you decide to keep going even when the motivation has faded. When you decide to keep your focus when distractions try to steal your attention. These moments don't give instant rewards, but they sculpt your mind in ways that nothing else can. And the truth is, no one claps for you during this phase. Nobody sees the early mornings or the late nights. Nobody sees the sacrifices you make, the temptations you resist, the distractions you cut off, the inner battles you fight silently, but success sees it, destiny sees it, the world only applauds the results, but life pays you for the effort. Your silent discipline becomes your loudest strength. Your inner work becomes your outer advantage. While others wait for motivation, you build habits. While others wait for the perfect time, you create progress. And while others look for shortcuts, you build the character that makes shortcuts unnecessary. Discipline is one of the greatest builders of character. Discipline means you do the important things even when the excitement is gone. Anyone can start strong, but character is proven by those who finish strong. When you say, "I'll be better today," and then you act on it, you train your brain to trust your decisions. That trust becomes confidence. Confidence becomes momentum. Momentum becomes growth, and growth becomes a lifestyle. This is why disciplined people achieve more, not because they are smarter or luckier, but because they don't let feelings decide their future. They let principles guide them. They let commitment guide them. They let their vision guide them. Integrity is another essential part of character. When you choose integrity, meaning you do what is right even when nobody is watching, you strengthen the core of your identity. People who live with integrity earn trust. People who earn trust attract opportunities. When you decide to be honest with others, and more importantly, with yourself, you remove confusion from your life. You know what you stand for. You know what you won't accept. You know the standards you won't break, and clarity is powerful. It makes you consistent. It makes you reliable. It makes you someone others want to work with, follow, learn from, or invest in. Character also grows when you learn to resist shortcuts. The world is full of people looking for fast results, fast money, fast success, fast fame, but shortcuts often create weak foundations. What comes quickly usually leaves quickly. But when you choose the long path, the path of learning, improving, practicing, failing, rising, and repeating, you build a kind of strength that can support big dreams. Success is expensive, and character is the currency. You can pay with effort now, or you can pay with regret later, and regret is a debt that never stops collecting. Responsibility is another powerful builder of character. The moment you stop blaming circumstances, people, luck, timing, or the world for your results, you take back control over your life. Responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means everything is your opportunity. When you say, "If it is to be, it's up to me," you unlock a version of yourself that stops waiting and starts creating. You start noticing solutions instead of problems. You start using your energy for improvement instead of complaint. And that shift in mindset alone can change your entire direction. Character also grows with self-control. When you control your impulses, your anger, your fear, your habits, your reactions, you gain mastery over yourself. And the person who masters themselves eventually masters their circumstances. Self-control is the filter that protects your goals from being destroyed by temporary emotions. It keeps you steady. It keeps you focused. It keeps you moving even when the situation tries to pull you backward. And then there is consistency, the small, repeated effort that most people underestimate. Consistency turns average individuals into extraordinary ones, not because they are talented, but because they show up every day, every week, every season. When people stop after difficulty, you continue. When they lose interest, you persist. When they get distracted, you stay committed. And that consistency turns ordinary habits into extraordinary results. Success is not just the reward for hard work, it's the reward for becoming the kind of person who can handle success. Money, fame, achievements, leadership, recognition, these things don't change who you are, they reveal who you are. If your character is strong, success becomes a blessing. If your character is weak, success becomes a burden. That is why character must come before achievement. That is why internal growth must come before external rewards. That is why who you are matters more than what you get. Build the character and success will follow you without needing to be chased. Character is the currency that holds its value no matter where life takes you. Before success opens its doors for anyone, it looks closely at the strength of their character. Opportunities might cross your path, but they only stay when they feel safe in your hands. A person with strong character doesn't just rise once. They rise again and again, no matter how many times life knocks them down. And that resilience becomes their identity, their reputation, their silent power. Success is not attracted to perfection. It's attracted to stability, integrity, and consistency. These qualities are rare, and that's exactly why they are priceless. Character begins with the choices you make when no one is there to witness them. The world sees your performance, but only you see your preparation. It's easy to be impressive in public, but what truly matters is the discipline you show in private. When you could cut corners, but you don't. When you could lie to make life easier, but you choose honesty. When you could procrastinate, but you choose responsibility. Every time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, you strengthen the invisible muscle that carries you toward lasting success. Honesty is one of the purest forms of character, not just the honesty you show to others, but the honesty you show to yourself. When you admit your weaknesses, you gain the power to improve them. When you acknowledge your mistakes, you gain the wisdom to avoid repeating them. When you confront your fears instead of hiding them, you turn them into fuel. People with strong character don't pretend, they grow. They don't hide behind their excuses, they upgrade their actions, and this authenticity creates a magnetic energy that attracts trust, respect, and influence. Resilience is another pillar of character. Life doesn't test your strengths when everything is easy. It tests them when everything is falling apart. But the person who keeps going, who refuses to surrender, who still believes in their future when the present looks hopeless, that person becomes unstoppable. Resilience isn't just about surviving difficulty, it's about transforming difficulty into strength. Every challenge you face becomes a tool, every setback becomes a lesson, every disappointment becomes an instructor, and slowly life shapes you into someone who can handle more than others, carry more than others, and achieve more than others. Humility plays a powerful role too. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself. It's about being open to becoming more. When you stay humble, you allow yourself to learn from anyone, whether they are above you, below you, or beside you. Humility reveals wisdom. It keeps you grounded during success and stable during failure. It allows you to stay hungry for growth instead of becoming arrogant with achievement. People trust humble leaders. People follow humble workers. People support humble dreamers. Humility turns character into a magnet for respect. Another major factor is responsibility. People with strong character don't look for who to blame. They look for how to improve. They don't wait for luck. They prepare for it. They don't expect life to hand them anything. They work for it. Responsibility gives you control. It shifts your mindset from why me to watch me. It transforms you from a victim into a creator. When you take responsibility for your thoughts, actions, habits, and results, you become the designer of your destiny, and designers build masterpieces, not excuses. Gratitude also shapes character. When you practice gratitude, you learn to appreciate the journey instead of complaining about the difficulties. You notice opportunities instead of obstacles. You see blessings instead of burdens. Gratitude lifts your spirit and expands your perspective. It keeps your heart soft but your mind sharp. It gives you the emotional strength to keep going even when progress feels slow. Grateful people attract positivity, opportunities, and supportive relationships. Their energy inspires others, and their attitude strengthens their character. Kindness is one more powerful element of character. How you treat people, especially those who can't benefit you, defines who you truly are. Kindness shows emotional maturity. It shows empathy. It shows strength. It shows that your heart is bigger than your ego. People never forget how you make them feel. A reputation built on kindness becomes a legacy that outlives your achievement. And in a world where many chase success at the cost of others, kindness becomes a rare and admirable superpower. Character also includes patience. Success is not a single event. It is a process, a gradual build. A slow rise. If you are not patient, you will sabotage your own potential by seeking shortcuts. Patience keeps you grounded. It reminds you that great things take time, consistency, and commitment. Patience allows you to enjoy growth instead of rushing toward results. And the more patient you become, the more peaceful and focused you stay. Ultimately, character determines the height of your success and the length of your success. Without character, success becomes dangerous. It collapses under ego, inconsistency, or poor habits. But with character, success becomes sustainable. It grows, it thrives, it multiplies. You don't have to chase it. It finds you. You don't have to beg for it. You earn it. You don't have to worry about losing it because your character protects it. Build honesty, build resilience, build discipline, build patience, build humility, build kindness, build responsibility, build the type of character that success respects. When you become the right person, the right opportunities will always appear. Success is attracted to character the same way fire is attracted to oxygen. The stronger your character, the brighter your future will burn. Success is not waiting for the perfect moment to choose you. Success is waiting for you to become the kind of person who doesn't need permission to rise. And everything you've learned so far brings you to this truth. Character is the gatekeeper of every great achievement. If your character is strong, your path becomes clear. If your character is weak, every opportunity becomes a burden. So today, let this be the moment you draw a line in the sand and say to yourself, from this day forward, I will build the person who can handle the life I dream of. Because success doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to preparation. It responds to discipline. It responds to responsibility. It responds to the person you become, not the person you pretend to be. Every dream you have is waiting for the upgraded, strengthened, sharpened version of you. The question is not, when will my success come? The real question is, when will I become ready for it? Imagine success as a mentor standing in front of you, looking you right in the eye and saying, "Show me your habits, and I will show you your future. Show me your discipline, and I will show you your destiny. Show me your consistency, and I will show you your results." Success doesn't care about your background. It doesn't care where you started. It doesn't care how slow your journey has been, but it cares deeply about your character. It cares whether you keep going when others quit. It cares whether you can stay humble when you succeed. It cares whether you can stay strong when you fail. It cares about whether you can rise without arrogance and fall without breaking. That is what makes you unstoppable. And if your inner voice ever whispers, "But I'm tired," answer it with strength. "Yes, I'm tired, but I'm not done." If it says, "This is too hard," respond, "Hard is where I grow." If it says, "Maybe this dream is too big for you," rise and say, "Nothing is too big for a person who refuses to quit." That inner dialogue is where character is forged. The conversations you have with yourself shape the person you become. Speak strength into your own spirit. Speak belief into your own journey. Speak determination into your own future, because the world will not always encourage you. People will not always believe in you. Circumstances will not always support you. But your character, your inner fire, must keep burning even when everything around you goes dark. You must be able to look at your future and say, "I'm coming for you, and I'm coming prepared." When fear tries to slow you down, say, "Fear is a visitor, but I am permanent." When doubt tries to distract you, say, "I have no space for doubt in a mind built for greatness." When failure tries to define you, tell it, "You may slow me, but you will not stop me." Every successful person you admire, every leader, every creator, every champion, did not rise because life made it easy. They rose because their character refused to collapse. They pushed through storms. They fought through chaos. They stayed consistent when results were invisible. They kept building themselves even when nothing around them seemed to change. That is the path you are walking now. A path built not on luck, but on strength. Not on shortcuts, but on growth. Not on excuses, but on responsibility. And if you ever feel alone on that path, remind yourself, legends are born in silence, not in crowds. Your quiet work today will become your loud success tomorrow. Your character today will become your reputation tomorrow. Your discipline today will become your lifestyle tomorrow. There will come a moment in your future, a day you cannot see yet, when all your hard work will suddenly make sense. When the doors that once felt locked will open for you. When the opportunities that once ignored you will seek you out. When the success you used to chase will begin to chase you. And in that moment, you'll realize it wasn't the dream that changed. It was you. You will stand there, stronger, wiser, sharper, and you'll hear life whisper, "Now you are ready." But that moment isn't magic, it is earned. Every sacrifice, every early morning, every disciplined choice, every moment of honesty, every refusal to quit, that is what brings that moment to life. You are not just working for results. You are building the version of yourself capable of living the life you've imagined. And that version of you is rising right now, in this very moment, with every decision you make. So decide to build character, decide to transform your habits, decide to rise above excuses, decide to hold yourself to a higher standard, Success honors those who honor themselves first. Look at yourself and say the words that will shape your destiny. I am not waiting for success. I am becoming the person success cannot ignore. Because once your character becomes unshakable, your future becomes unstoppable.